Man.
Oh
boy.
Oh, girl.
Oh boy.
Welcome to the Flying Bison Podcast. We won't be the Flying Bison Podcast for that much longer. A couple more months. We'll be Dustfire.
Whoa.
It's true.
That's crazy.
Wow. It's beginning and the end
Wow.
of this name.
And we're just like we're just chilling. We finished our campaign last week, and now we're hanging out, biding our time till the summer is over and the fall happens. Why are you laughing, Danny?
Apparently, Danny, who is Nick Kaplan, interpreted. Well, that's a nice word. Interpreted biding time as biting time with a T.
Take that time.
Take a bite at a time.
It's beautiful that Nick is watching over you, Danny.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Nick, how was Japan?
Japan's doing great. Eating lots of cheeseburgers.
Nick,
have a
did
lot
you
of those there,
smoke 5 years worth of cigarettes on your trip to Japan?
Danny is obviously recording where Nick normally records because Nick is in Japan, and Danny
And I broke into his
is
house while he was gone.
broken into his house, and no, he's house sitting, obviously. House sitting.
That's better. That's much
It's
better.
a little better, yeah. And that's partly why we're doing some fun stuff while Nick is gone.
Can't have fun
I was
when
like,
Nick is here.
we can't have fun when Nick is here. So now that he's
Getting
gone,
some real kooky shit.
we're having some fun finally. It's been 2 years of no fun.
It's about
and,
time. It's about time.
It's about time we have some. We deserve fun.
We deserve fun. We all deserve fun. We are playing a game called Apocalypse Roadtrip. I'm going to read the tagline for it. It says, Kaijus, UFOs, and cryptids on the open road. I read that, and I was immediately sold. There wasn't a whole lot after that needed to sell me on it. It is a Forged in the Dark game. We're going to be playing a lot of Forged in the Dark stuff this summer because I got to get my reps in for Scum and Villainy come the fall. So
Woo, yeah.
this is my first time GMing something Forged in the Dark. I've listened to a few actual plays. I think I've got a decent grasp on how it's played. But if I mess something up, just yell at me. Come to our Discord and yell at me. Happy to do all that. Do you see me trying to get them to come to our Discord?
Wow, that's clever.
Better yet, sign up for our Patreon.
Sign for our Patreon, yeah.
at
And then message me directly on Patreon. That'll show me.
I'm so frustrated about this show. I'm going to support it and then complain.
I am very excited. I was reading through the rules and I was like, oh, this will be fun. We'll tell it like a goofy apocalypse story or maybe even a serious apocalypse story. And then I was reading it and I was like, you know what would be even funnier is if the three of you played yourselves in this apocalyptic scenario. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through character creation right now. It should be pretty quick. I'm hoping you guys know a decent amount about yourselves. So
Yeah, I'm going to be totally uncivilized.
That's okay. We'll just make stuff up and keep
No
going.
mercy.
Just do what you would do, right?
Now,
In this scenario.
now this
Turn into a Mad Max villain.
the rule book says that you should come up with this last because they're the most difficult to figure out.
We already know.
So I'm going to ask, and I want you to really think about it, okay? We'll come to it at the end. I want you to think about your name and your pronouns.
Oof.
Tough, I know.
I have had time on this, though. I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you
There's
lean
been
towards?
Considerable mental energy here.
I feel quite comfortable in he, him pronouns, and
Okay.
I believe my name is Steve.
Great. Love it.
Yep.
Easy.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say I also he, him, and also Steve.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Good.
I'm so glad we're
Yeah.
coming clean about this, Johnny.
Good.
I mean, Steve.
So,
Hey.
I also abide by he/him pronouns, and I think I'm gonna go with Steve Durgan.
Good.
I'm seeing a theme here, and I don't know how authentic this is anymore. But if we all want to be Steves at the end of the world, then I accept.
I have a great
We do have
admiration
to
for
refer
you,
to
Steve.
each other by different things.
Obviously, Johnny's
You can call me
character's name Johnny. Danny's character's name Danny. Speaking of that, Danny, can you change your name in Riverside to Danny? I'm assuming you're using Nick's computer.
I am.
But let's just go ahead and change that so that the viewers aren't confused.
Well, did the viewers
I
even
don't think the
see?
viewers can see our
I
names.
think it's
They
just
do.
Riverside.
Oh.
They do.
do?
They do see the name. Yeah, they do see the name at the bottom, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Or maybe
I
they
thought
don't.
We established
Maybe
they
they don't.
don't, and then I wrote
don't know.
Stevis
You know,
one week, and I.
They
I'm on the
definitely
stream
don't. I'm on Twitch right
I'm on
now.
stream right
They-
now.
they don't.
And they don't see it. They don't see it. Great. Now you've got your names and pronouns. We got the hardest part out of the way. What did you used to do before the apocalypse happened? And after you answer that, you're going to give yourself a trait to reflect this.
Yeah.
So I put comfortably struggling line cook. So I'm
love it.
comfortable.
Sure.
I'm comfortable in the financial struggle.
Yeah, if you want to put comfortable, that's fine. I'm also okay with just line cook. I'll probably just treat it as line cook.
I just really needed to add that.
And Danny, I was thinking about this for you. I was thinking I am all right within this. You just changing that to chef if you want to, because I think chef will be a
Chef.
little bit more broadly applicable than line cook would be.
That's juicy.
Line chef.
Line,
Does that mean we have to say yes,
of-
chef, whenever
because
we
of
talk to Danny?
drugs.
I
yeah,
can't
you-
cook
yes.
without a line. What? Multiple tasks? You want me to make a meal start to finish?
Yeah, I was like, I don't imagine that there will be many instances in which line cook will be applicable to a scenario, but I can imagine a number in which chef will be applicable.
Hey, maybe in Pie Town.
So
Maybe
on
a
my
pie
character
day.
sheet for my name, I changed it from Danny Wickman to Chef Daniel.
Ooh, Chef Daniel. I love it.
And if anyone calls
Highfalutin.
me otherwise, I go on a murder spree.
And so, Justin, are we kind of straddling the past life aspect of the character sheet right now with the traits?
It's answering the question, what did you used to do before the apocalypse happened? And
Yep.
that answer should generate a trait.
Awesome.
Yep.
Is it okay if I already generated 5 traits for my past life?
Just one.
Oh,
Just
I only
one.
get one.
Yeah, you only get one. Yep.
Meh. Okay, well, I'll choose the one that came to mind first because I feel like
what's
it's
your-
truly,
Your past
No.
life or your trait?
yeah. Well, the trait, that
so
I
what's your
think
past?
is. Yeah, my past life is a very confused combination of pastoral counselor, security guard, and social worker with a background in parkour. So all those things are true, but if I have to pick one thing that is like the most deep trait, I would say empathetic. I mean, parkour is so useful, and it was such
Yeah.
a big part of my life. But empathy will probably be my main skill as we survive the end of all things.
Have we talked about the parkour club that Steve started at our college campus?
I think Steve has
I
told
did not
me
know
about
about this.
Is that the rumor? Because I feel like I didn't start it, but
No,
I was
pretty sure you did.
I was a part of it.
I think you're very instrumental in it. Let me just say, I did not hear one thing about the parkour club until you came. So I'm pretty sure that means you started it.
That is, so this may be vain, but I think that is a comment on my popularity.
It might be. Steve is a very likable guy.
I think I added a certain degree of likability to the parkour group.
You brought gravitas that they were missing.
I
Speaking
had
of
some
parkour,
charisma.
speaking of parkour at TIU, I just thought about the time where I broke the table in Johnson Hall at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I respect you for that. Thank you for breaking that
When
table.
I was in college, I gotta tell the story. It's really quick, but there was this guy. He was a super weird guy. We all called him 12 Gauge, but his real name was Aaron, and he was obsessed
course.
with parkour, but not good at parkour. He had a best friend named Bevan, and they would go into the city of Rochester.
12 Gauge and Bevan?
Yep, 12 Gauge and Bevan, and Bevan was his legal name. And
You can't make this up.
but yeah, 12 Gauge and the Beeve running around the city of Rochester doing. And one day we were standing on our hall on the second story of our dorm building, and this one guy, Aaron, was talking about parkour. And this one guy goes, "You don't do parkour," and Aaron goes, "Yes, I do." He's like, "No, you don't." And Aaron goes, "Yes, I do," and just sprints away down the hall to the open balcony door, and we just watch as he jumps over the railing off the balcony, and we were like, what? And so we run out like onto the balcony. We look down, and he's just splayed out on the ground. And he looks up and points at us and goes, "I told you."
12 gauge needs to be a character in this apocalypse game.
Wow.
Even if all he does is jump and we hear the Wilhelm scream, like that's
One of these days, I can tell you guys I have story after story about 12 gauge. I'll tell you
That
that
is
sometime.
crazy. All right, circling back, Steve, empathetic, love it. I feel like that's very, very applicable.
Okay. Hopefully it's useful too.
I think it will be. I think it very much. I think empathetic is a great trait. Johnny, what are you thinking?
I have unemployed dad / aspiring author. My trait is useless.
We need a trait we can use. Useless is the opposite of usable.
Can I? How about this? Let's. Yeah. That's a little. I can't imagine that coming up that often in a
Can't imagine
positive
that
way.
being useful.
How about maybe unassuming?
Okay.
It kind of gets at that same vibe, but it feels like maybe a little bit more applicable.
I mean, Johnny, true to life, would you or would you not be a force of leadership in our group at the end of all things? I think you would, and I
probably.
think parent would help that a ton.
I mean, if you want to
Thanks,
change it to
Steve.
leadership,
Very
If you want.
yeah, I'm fine with that too.
Okay, I'll put that.
Okay,
Throughout this game, I'll be calling Johnny Daddy.
Daddy.
That's what you should be calling me anyway, Danny.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
oh Jesus.
Very important. Very important. Next question.
Yes.
What was your first traumatic encounter with the war?
Now, meta. I
Yeah.
looked through these, and some of them are just fun for color.
Yeah.
But one of them is like you were like somehow messed with or experimented on with alien tech, and it gave you supernatural abilities. I would like to submit, for the sake of not having this just be all of us having superpowers, that one person max can have that trait, and I'd like to volunteer, not me.
Okay.
If
Somebody
we go-
wants that.
Sorry, it's not a trait. The trauma. There's a trauma choice that you can make where you were like messed with by alien tech, and now you have near supernatural abilities of some kind.
Oh yeah, that's not the
Well,
one I
I-
picked. So
Okay.
If you wanted to take that, I think that would lead into the next question, which is going to give you another trait. So
Ah.
yeah,
Where's
I'll
Danny,
go.
do you want to be an experiment for aliens?
That, honestly, being experimented on by aliens sounds so appealing to me.
Okay.
I wonder why.
Yeah, the language in the book is you were fused. You were fused with alien technology. So you got something going on in your body, man.
All right.
I mean, let's let Danny have that if he wants it.
I'm trying to look
I
at the
think-
list of traumatic events.
Yeah, I think for me, and it's on page 28, Danny.
Yeah.
28. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think for me, my town had a brain slug outbreak, and I was
Okay.
among the few to get out.
Okay.
So that's sadly what happened to everyone
Okay.
I loved and knew except for y'all.
I think then in this world, then that's why, in my head, this is in the U.S.
Yeah.
And that brain slug outbreak, it was in Spain. That's why you've left, found your way to the United States,
Had to get away.
had to meet up with the podcast group.
Yeah.
Yep.
I put, because I was thinking about, like, I live in Virginia, very close to the largest naval base on the planet. And so it would probably be a target if aliens were showing up and doing weird stuff.
Absolutely.
And so I put that the military forced us out before a nuke hit.
Wow. So applicable.
Yeah. Okay. Love it. Also, on that, I just randomly named these things. Don't ask me where in the U.S. this is. I don't know. I'm not really interested.
when in
in
doubt, Ohio.
placing it somewhere. Connecticut.
Do state
No,
lines
we've done-
really matter anymore?
You've done too much. So I just want to be clear. You won't be able to Google the names of these towns and find them anywhere on the map.
Okay.
That's just. All right.
The
You got your
Commonwealth of
traumatic-
New Statesville.
You got your traumatic event. What
I was probed.
in the rule book? It asks, what were you doing before you joined the others in your group? But I think in my head it makes the most sense if you guys have been traveling together for a significant portion, right? Like you're the first group. And so you could answer like, what were you doing before you joined the others? It could also be like, what is your role within the group now? I think both of those kind of get at that same question. And your answer to that question, I mean, basically you're answering like, how do you manage to survive in a world like this? And your answer to that question is going to give you your second trait.
Yeah, since we're not going for sad, I'm not going to go with the sad one I was thinking about doing. But so instead, I put that I was hiding in empty mansions, eating the food that I found until I ran out, and then I move on to the next one.
Heck yeah. Okay.
Which I think is something I would really do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love that.
What trait do you think that?
I would say like maybe something like resourceful, like being able to find what I need.
Resourceful is great. Scavenger is another good one too. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Danny, Steve?
I think rolling, like I'm trying to now stick with the fiction of like I was in Spain when this happened. A bunch of people around me got attacked by these like brain things, the like brain slugs or whatever. I don't know what to picture, by the way. Those are horrifying already, whatever they are. But
they just look like normal slugs. That's the scariest part.
But like having to like travel internationally already rules out so many of these things, which I love. Like it's narrowing my options rapidly. And I think essentially I just roamed from place to place. Initially, I was looking for those that I lost. And so whatever you think that would help with in terms of a trait.
Yeah, I don't know.
Someone who's good at walking.
Like sneaky honestly comes to mind.
Yeah, that's helpful because that was one of my 5 traits that I wanted.
Okay.
So thank you for landing on that organically.
Sneaky makes
Yeah.
sense.
So what
to
about
me.
the third?
That was from parkour / playing Manhunt for my entire childhood. So,
Sure.
Sneaky. What's that, Johnny?
Dan-
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say I could see the third daily life thing. You stole cars. Being a good one for that.
Yeah. I mean, you tell me in this fictionalized version of yourself, like how did you survive getting from Spain to the U.S.? Like what skills did you pick up and develop to get yourself safely to the
And
U.S.?
I guess these are just examples, right? It could be something totally.
Could be totally
off
different.
list.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I like working with sneaky because I think that's all I could resort to is just very cautiously trying to navigate places and stay, you know.
I love it.
Snake, snucked.
Snake snuck.
Thank
Danny,
you, Grinch.
What is your daily life? What role do you take? How do you survive in this apocalyptic world?
Like before I met the group,
It could be before you met them.
or with the group.
It could be as you're traveling with them.
I'm leaning towards pacifist. I feel like maybe there's like whenever we came across like another group that seems to be pretty intimidating, I'd just be like, "Hey, stop it, please."
May I make a suggestion? Again,
Sure.
it doesn't have to be on that list at all. Those are just examples.
Yeah.
So it can be something totally different. We've established that you were experimented on and have weird alien tech in your body. What is that weird alien tech?
Wait. Whoa.
It's just an alien penis.
That's their technology. Come on.
It looks exactly like something you'd see on Bad Dragon. That's it.
I don't know how to make a trait out of that.
Intimidating.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe not that. Maybe not that.
Maybe not that.
Yeah, maybe not that.
I like what I kind of like the idea of me not even really knowing what my probe is.
Sure, but it's got to be something we can land on, even if you don't quite know what it is.
Because it gives you a trait.
I think that should be your second trait. I think that is how you survive this.
What
apocalypse.
if because I was fused with alien tech, what if it kind of gives me an edge against the aliens?
Yeah, what is
So
that?
we can
edge?
narrow down to that. They don't see me.
Can I make a suggestion?
I was going to
Yes.
suggest that the opposite
I
of
have
that.
a
What if it isn't
suggestion
into your
as well, too.
eyes and their like cloaking doesn't work and you can see them?
Yes.
Oh.
I was gonna say that. I was
True
also
sight.
gonna throw out. I think with you being in Pie Town, I think it would be interesting if you got like a sense, like you could pick up the frequencies of alien tech nearby.
Yes.
Ooh, alien sonar.
Yeah, alien sonar. And
Okay.
it wouldn't be like for them. It would be like their tech. Their
Yeah. Alien tech sonar. Hyphen.
And I don't know how you feel about this. I love if the fiction is like, we don't actually know what fully this thing does, was meant to do, or could do.
I like that. Yeah.
But
Totally,
at
yeah.
least a side effect of it being in Danny's body is that he's more attuned to these frequencies.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, also
I
just
would
real quick.
think about how you like feel that. Like, what does it look like when you? Yeah. Like, yeah, for sure, exactly.
So for traumatic event, I already had something, but I just added the alien tech thing. So what I wrote was, during a busy night, a 60 top of mostly aliens gets angry and get murder hungry. Was probed.
Okay, wonderful. Moving on. You have both of your traits. We're gonna assign dice now. At the start of this game, you have 6 dice that you can assign to your traits. You can put no more than 3 dice in a trait, which just means at the start of this game, you put 3 dice in each of your traits.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. As if we ever get to you adding more traits, you'll be able to like take traits away from other traits or dice away from other traits and add them to another trait. So you might be able to have multiple traits at once. You just won't have as many dice in that. But for now, you have 3 dice in each of your 2 traits. And then I need you to tell me what your goal is. This is your individual goal that your character wants to achieve.
Besides survival, or can it be survival?
Besides survival. I mean, it.
So, in my head, my family
Yeah.
is temporarily safe, but my goal is to find some place where we can be okay permanently.
Okay. All right. Find a place for your family to be safe for a long period of time. Love that.
Yep.
Oof. I think for me, it's getting revenge on the brain slugs.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Killing as many brain slugs as possible.
I
I
just
love
want to
that.
slaughter those brain slugs.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
For me, I think it's, what's the deal with the thing inside me?
Oh, find out what happened to me. I think that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Does it make you talk like that at random times?
What's the deal?
deal?
Just turn into Seinfeld.
What's the deal with the alien tech inside me? Oh,
Danny, we need to be quiet right now. We're hiding.
I'm sorry.
It just
Sorry.
amplifies my Tourette's.
That's why they were experimenting. They're like, this one's different than so many others.
Yeah. They just, what's he doing with his face?
Well, maybe that's why you like. Maybe everyone else died, and that's why you're fine. Like something about your mental
Tourette's makes you
physiology.
survive.
They're like,
Just Tourette's made him immune to the alien.
they're like, he's a weird one. Let's probe him.
All right, you've got your goals. As you work toward your okay.
I just need
As you work towards raising your son. Deep breaths.
I know I have to. You lose your train of thought. As you work towards your goal, you'll fill up your goal clock. Once you hit 6 in your goal clock, 6 ticks in your goal clock, you get a new trait, some advancement, and we'll get to that. I don't think it's going to show up, so it wasn't a huge thing. The last thing we need to do, the second to last thing we need to do is inventory. You each have 4 slots. There are 6 broad categories. There is tools, weird tech, fuel, ammo, snacks, and meds. I need you to fill up those slots with one of those broad categories. You don't need to tell me what the specific thing is. We can leave that for in play. But you got to fill up those slots and say, like, this is a tool slot. This is a snack slot. And then when it comes up, you can tell me what that exact thing is.
Is it possible to just like choose the same thing for 2 slots so that you have
Absolutely.
2 tools?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yep. And then I also need you to mark the well-fed box.
It's marked. I'm so fed right now.
You are well-fed.
Mark it. There's 4 well-fed boxes.
Indeed.
So
you can be
just mark-
quadruple well fed,
Just mark 1.
which makes you unable to move.
At the start of
over-encumbered.
each day, I will be marking 1 on the well-fed box.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
You unmark, I mean, is what I mean. Unmark 1.
Oh, so I should have 4 X's and then we'll lose 1?
No, just mark 1 box.
Okay.
Just mark 1 box.
I accept.
No, you'll be starving tomorrow.
Got it.
I mean, yes, that is actually essentially what it is. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that terrible situation, Johnny.
Should we say the types that we put in our inventory? The
Yeah,
resource
why
types?
don't you say it so that way you all don't.
So,
have the
let's make
same,
it random so that maybe
random?
we did mess up. Maybe we overlapped and we all have the same
yeah.
stuff.
That's much funnier. That is much funnier.
I
Okay.
like that.
If
I
all of
have.
us just have all meds.
I'm just loaded. Yeah. Now I have fuel, tools, meds, and snacks.
I have snack, tool tack.
What's tack?
Tech.
Oh, tech.
Tech, tool
Weird
tech.
tech.
Weird
Yeah,
tech.
I have weird tech tools and double meds.
I
Nice.
think we covered everything. I don't think we have any ammo, huh?
Indeed not.
That's okay.
That's all right.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, no changing it. Last thing. Last thing is actually, this is funny. Starting bonds. Just like a sentence of your impression, positive or negative, of the other person within the apocalypse scenario.
Stop clickety clacking.
Oh, sorry.
That's my impression of you, Daniel.
I was debating whether to skip this, and I was like, no, it's very funny. It's funny if they say their impression of each other in this
In
apocalypse
this
scenario.
scenario,
Okay.
my impression is Danny's weird alien hybridization stuff is probably going to get us killed. And Steve's obsession with these slugs is also probably going to get us killed.
That feels like something Johnny would think.
Hey, man,
be
it
like,
was really
everything-
traumatic.
Everything you're doing is going to get all of us killed. So stop it. Just listen. Stop it.
Ooh. Oof. I think that I like this one. This is a nice prompt. I think Johnny is a bad driver. The day they get behind the wheel is the day I walk, is what the text says, and I like that a lot. And then for Danny, I think I don't know how much to like assume about how you've been navigating situations with us, but I think I'm just like low key worried that Danny is gonna be goofy or loud at the wrong moment and probably get us killed.
We're both convinced Danny's going to get us killed.
I think it's funny. No, it's funny because like both of you think Danny's going to get you killed, but he's so useful. Because he can pick up when there's alien tech, and he's like, no, this way.
Exactly.
So,
He
like, you
warns
can't
us, so
get
we
rid of
hide,
it.
and then
Yeah.
they come, and then he
Yeah.
makes a noise, and I'm like, what?
No. So I
see.
already had bonds written down, but I expanded on them. I had Johnny, love him. Steve, hate him.
I accept.
But no, so Johnny, I just wrote daddy figure,
Okay, all right, good.
and for Steve, I wrote should do more parkour.
Is that why you hate me?
Yeah, because he don't
Wonderful.
do enough.
It wasn't one of my traits, Danny.
Okay.
I have
And-
limits. I'm just empathetic.
Every time Danny calls me daddy, we get a little bit closer to something happening on this road trip.
Oh no. Hey.
Start a
Okay,
clock
all right.
for that.
Let's do it. I'm gonna start a clock for that. for that.
Jesus.
I'm gonna pull that up. Let's while I'm doing that, why don't you guys decide what you want your group vehicle to be?
Ooh. So for navigating the U.S., I feel like SUV or truck would be like a very helpful find. What do you think?
The easiest thing to find parts for and find fuel for in general is going to be like a Ford F-150, like full cab. And then, because it's the most popular vehicle in America, they're all over the place. If something happens and we need to
We
replace
can
a
just
part,
find another one and tear it apart.
yeah.
This is completely
Yeah.
unreasonable, but I was really hoping for the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile.
It's a little
the
too
second most
conspicuous
popular
for me.
vehicle in America, but maybe a little unruly.
Based on polls,
So-
but not based on purchases.
Think too in this sense too, like depending on where you end up going, if you're traveling down like an open road where there's no obstacles, you know, something like a sports car is going to get you from one place to another place faster because they drive faster. If you go off-roading, for instance, so that sport car is not really going to help you. So there are going to be times when you're like, hey, we're traveling off-road. I'm going to be like, well, yeah, your effect of that sports car is less. You're going to travel less than you would if you had something like a Hummer.
Yeah.
Like,
For that reason, I'm all about the F-150. Yep. Love that.
Cool.
It also gives us some truck bed space in case we need it. So
And in the rules, they say, so you've got those 4 inventory slots. Your truck essentially holds an infinite amount of stuff. As long as you've got time, you can switch stuff that's in your truck out for.
yes, the truck I'm
Yes.
holding.
Obviously, there might come a time in which I'm like, no, you can't take that entire like department store and put it in your
Put
truck.
another truck inside of our truck so we have a
Can't put
backup
that-
truck.
Truck
That
of
would
holding.
explode. That would explode if in this world, in
Take
this
that
universe.
truck and put inside. It's like when you try to put a dimensional hole inside of another dimensional hole. It's just,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
God,
All
we
right.
all know how that
into a
works.
bag of holding.
Wonderful. Now, who had fuel?
I did,
Okay. Perfect.
thankfully.
Okay, because you'll obviously need that fuel in order to drive the truck.
Someone's got
Yeah,
to
no,
I'm
truck,
also
but-
resourceful. It's okay.
And
Thank
if you
you.
run out, you're going to have to find more fuel.
Yeah.
All right?
I know
I
where
want to
all
play
the
this game
best
for more than
mansions
2
are.
sessions.
I
I
know.
know, it's so fun already.
It's so fun. I love Forged in the Dark games because they've got this like meta like game that's happening where you're managing your resources and your actions and there are going to become times when you're like, we're out of fuel. I guess we're going to have to change what we were doing in order to get more fuel first in order to like, it's just fun. I think it adds really fun stuff like that. All right, with that, we'll start getting into. Let's just start. We decided beforehand where they wanted to start. They told me. I asked them. They want to start in Pie Town, which is right here, and I think we're gonna discover why it's called Pie Town. All right. I have a little write-up too that I had sent you all with what's in Pie Town, but I'll go over it right now, so that way y'all can figure out what you want to do. Places of interest. You've got Gary's Oldsmobile scraps. Gary Vassar is a vintage car enthusiast, and rumor is that if you can get him a vintage car, he'll trade you some of his weird alien tech.
Ooh.
Pytown PD, PTPD, which makes me laugh. I don't know why it does. But the Sheriff Briggs, recently came into power there. He came into power because the previous sheriff died while choking on some pie in a pie eating contest that was, weirdly enough, baked by Sheriff Briggs's wife. So some of the town is a little
Yikes.
conspicuous about that. And last but not least is Sock Hop Salves, which is a old-timey soda fountain / pharmacy. And lately, people have been coming into Sock Hop Salves and shouting. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave that open. We'll just see what happens. And then there is specifically a gas station as well in this town. So you are all here in Pie Town. It's at this point that you tell me what your plan is. Now you can do one of 5 things. You can travel. You tell me where you want to go. You're just traveling from point A to point B. You can search. You can search the hex that you're on. You tell me, like, what are you looking for? Where do you look? What are you willing to trade for it if you find it? You can act on like a situation that you're coming into. You might say, like, hey, we investigate why Sheriff Briggs is a sheriff now. And I ask you, like, okay, what's your plan? How do you find that information out? What are you going to do? You can keep a lookout. A lookout is trying to give yourself an advantage on your next plan that you choose to do. Or you can rest. And then if we rest, we'll get into rest actions. I'm going to go ahead and roll this D12 here. It's going to tell me what time of day it is. Okay. It is pretty late, actually. So I think in this sense, we come on the 3 of you. You've been traveling from where it doesn't matter, but it's about dusk as you get into Pie Town, and there's like neon lights, and it's very like 1950s. There's like a soda fountain that's Sock Hop Salves is open. There's an outdoor like gazebo. You can see people like dancing to like rock and roll music, wearing their poodle skirts and their leather jackets, and people are very friendly as the 3 of you come into town.
Well, this is nice for a change. They're not all just terrified of anyone who rolls in here.
Oh, this is some Pleasantville ass shit.
I'm curious if there are any houses around that look abandoned.
Okay,
it's a great question.
There are. There definitely are. Is your plan to like rest? Is your plan to do something else? Why are you looking for an abandoned house?
So I've been spending the last however long this apocalypse has been going on looting to my heart's desire, and my heart desires loot.
Looting.
Okay. So is the plan that your group wants to do is search?
Sounds good.
You guys want to come loot a house with me?
I mean, as usual. But I mean, this is a nice spot, Johnny. Like, do you think this could be the place where you maybe settle down? Like,
it does give me some. I kind of agree with Danny. It's got some weird vibes. I want to see what's up first, maybe.
I love 50s. This is
yeah, it makes sense. An American white man would love the 50s. Let's
yeah, I'm called out. Do you want ice cream though? It's probably good.
I could go for some ice cream. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's do that after we loot.
Is there anything specific you're looking for?
I am looking for more like preserved food.
Okay. More snacks. How much time do you spend searching? There's not a lot. There's a weirdly full town, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of like unused space. It doesn't feel like there's like a lot of abandoned houses, but you do find one abandoned house. So how much time do you spend looking through that house? Remember that 1 unit of time is equal to about 1 to 2 hours, and you can spend up to 3. And this is all of you, by the way. This is not like a singular action.
I think we probably don't need to spend more than one time.
I agree.
Okay.
Is there any way my alien tech sonar can help with the search?
We will get to that when we get to the engagement roll. So if you're going to spend one time, we're going to get into the engagement roll. The engagement roll, now that you've told me what your plan is, we do the engagement roll and we find out, are there any obstacles in your path? What sort of obstacles are in your path? So I'm going to roll this. I get to, let's see, do you have any traits that help? I think in this sense, because of even some things that you don't quite yet know about Pie Town, Danny's alien tech sonar does help. So I'm going to add a dice for this. Do you have any traits that hinder them searching? I might even say sneaky, maybe. Give you a dice for sneaky.
What about resourceful?
Resourceful as well. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any traits that would hinder you in this situation? No one has like loud or...
Chef, I just start cooking as soon as I see the kitchen. I can't help myself.
I'm just empathetic and sneaky, so...
Okay. All right. So I will say in this case, no, nothing is gonna hurt you.
We're great looters.
Nobody has any injuries or fears yet, so that's fine. Did you spend extra time? You did. So I'm gonna add another D6 to that. And did you spend doing a lookout before this? So no. So I'm gonna roll these 4 D6s. The lowest dice is gonna tell me what sort of obstacle is in your path. But the highest dice is going to tell me what sort of reward is at the end of you finishing up that obstacle. I love this game. Were we live when you were like, oh, Justin's rolling and Justin rolls terribly?
I don't know if we were live yet. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Oh, no.
Did you roll terribly?
I rolled very
That's bad for us.
I rolled
Excellent.
very
That's not
bad.
good for us.
The lowest rolled dice that I rolled is a 1. Which means that your obstacle is a desperate obstacle. A world-shattering event arrives.
We just started.
Your highest die was a 3, which means your reward is that you don't achieve your goal, and it's a waste of time. So all this is just a massive obstacle in your path.
Oh, no. The house is alive.
my
No wonder no one's in it.
Here's
Baba
what it is.
Yaga's witch house.
I love it because you're just immediately embroiled in Pie Town. The 3 of you spend some time exploring this house, and this entire time, Danny, your radar is just off the wall. It is just like what does it feel like to you?
So when I use it, I
yeah.
look up and my mouth opens out slightly unnaturally, and I stick my tongue out and it glows green and beeps. And I go.
Oh, no. Danny's doing the thing.
And the 2 of you, Johnny and Steve,
normally
you've never seen it quite like this because it is just like so bright and blinking constantly, almost like it's broken. You're like, there's no way it's this like detecting this much.
I mean, if they're that close, then we got to close his mouth and shut him up. So I try to do that.
You
Choke on it.
You try and close his mouth, and you stumble a little bit, Steve, and you stumble into a bookshelf that completely gives away.
Whoa.
And you tumble all the way down these long set of stairs underneath this house. And when you look up, you see that you are in a very sterile room. It's just like metal and white. And you can see that there are a number of aliens that are experimenting on humans.
Oh, no.
No.
And they look at you and they go, and they just start moving their way towards you. They're like very long, spindly, like mushroom aliens. Like they've got long tentacles. They're like stalks almost. They just start moving their way towards you. I'm gonna create a clock. Well, oh, by the way, I did create a clock for Danny and Johnny. Let's see what it gets. It's gonna be bleeped in the audio, but I'm gonna say it now. It's the Danny and Johnny fuck clock.
We should just put a different content warning on this episode.
It's 8 segments. It's 8 segments. When that fills up, I'll leave that to the 2 of you to do with that what you want. But I'm gonna create.
So excited for Nick to listen to this.
By the way, I should say that too. One of the big questions this entire campaign is, what happened to Nick?
What happened?
Nick was there when you guys got together. What happened to him?
I hate him.
Maybe.
Don't admit it.
Maybe.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Wait. Stop incriminating yourself.
I'm gonna create another clock. I'm gonna create another clock called Group Gets Captured.
Yep.
And I'm gonna make that a 6-segment clock.
Did the when you say that the bookshelf gave way,
Yeah.
did it break or just like open like a door and Steve fell through?
It broke. He just broke through the bookshelf down below.
Wow.
Okay.
So we got pummeled by a bunch of books.
So I'm the only one who tumbled down the stairs,
Correct.
Oh my god.
And I'm
leaving
gonna,
Danny in sonar mode.
Yep, in sonar mode. And Danny, at this point, Johnny, you would see his tongue is now just like beeping rapidly. Like you've never seen it light up like this before. Steve, what do you do as these aliens just start moving towards you?
My goodness. I reach for my tool. Let me go grab. So I get to decide what it is in the moment, correct?
Yeah, what is it? Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting. All right, let me look at the tool list again. I know there were some really cool things on here.
I will say, too, that while you're looking that up, there are 3 aliens that are moving towards you.
Okay, thank you. That is important to know what I'm dealing with here.
This is a very massive complex now that you're seeing it. So you have to imagine that there are much more than 3 down here.
Yeah. I'm having trouble. What page is tool on?
There are some examples of tools on page 8,
8.
but again, those are just examples. They can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, you know what tools are, Steve.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I promise.
Yeah. Danny's a tool.
I saw that coming a mile away, Justin.
I had to take it.
I am a tool because I'm a sonar now.
You are actually a
Speaking of
tool.
which, could you put your tongue back in your mouth, Danny?
Oh, sorry. Steve fell down the stairs.
I saw.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a good old garden machete. You know?
Garden machete. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I've
What are
actually used those before, so I feel like that's the most character appropriate.
What do you do? Like, what are you trying to do right now?
So context question, because we didn't hit this at the top, Justin, but
Yeah.
there were events that led up to this. We've been aware of these aliens. The war has been happening for about 5 months, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But it's not like all aliens are bad necessarily.
Sure,
Right?
they're not monoliths. Yeah, aliens are not monoliths. Yep.
Yeah, like there was at least a period of time where aliens were here to protect humanity from the cryptids and
Correct.
from the
Yep.
kaiju, right?
Yes, these aliens might be doing good experiments on humans down here.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
This could be
I was gonna-
consensual. They signed forms.
I was gonna say, yeah, you got to make a quick decision, like whether you want to trust these aliens or not, based on the information that you have available in front of you.
Yeah. So my question for you is, in world,
Yeah.
have I had any peaceable encounters with these blue stock like mushroom people?
Well, let's do this. I'm gonna do something which is just called a luck roll.
All right.
This is one of, as a GM, my absolute favorite Forge in the Dark mechanic is luck rolls, because it like, to that question, I'm like, I don't know, so I have to just make up an answer. But with a roll, I can play with it. So I'm gonna roll 1 die for sheer luck. Is there a good reason that it would have happened? Will you tell me, like, how many encounters do you have you had with aliens? Have you tried to avoid them?
I've
more
tried
often
to
than
avoid
not?
them generally while,
Okay.
just trying to stay alive. But it's possible that I saw some blues
Okay.
do something against brain slugs, which would endear me, at least slightly. It would increase my hopes.
Okay. I will give you 2 dice then.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll 2 dice. You have not encountered these at all, and if you have not seen them do anything that would make you think that they might be on your side.
All right. Lunging forward with the machete. I attack.
To do what? To just like cut them?
I'm assuming similar to human anatomy principles apply. And so in the absence of knowing anything else, I go for the head. I just try to chop off the head.
Okay. So you are trying to kill one of these aliens.
That I am. I am very
Okay.
terrified. I just rolled down into a lab from this house.
All right. We're going to do our first player roll. I will say this. I will say that your position. So every time you make a roll, I'm going to tell you your position. That's like how your start. Like, how are you in a position to effectively do the thing that you're trying to do? I'm going to say that this position is risky. Not only did you just tumble down these stairs,
Yes.
but there are 3 of them. And then I'm going to tell you what the effect is. In other words, the effect that you're trying to do, kill this alien, is it possible? Are you going to have a standard effect? Are you going to have a weak effect or a high effect? I'm going to say that your position is risky. And I'm going to say that your effect is, let's say, usual effect.
Okay, cool.
So
how many dice?
We're gonna build your dice pool right now. We're going to, you get 1 dice for luck.
Okay.
Do you have any traits that would help you?
Only sneaky, and I don't think that will apply here. So,
No. Do you have any traits that would hinder you? I might argue that empathetic
Yeah.
maybe hinders you.
I may have a slight hesitation as I wonder if these creatures are, any bit good,
So I want you to take away that dice you do have. Now, before we get into it, if you ever roll 0 dice, you roll two 6-sided dice and take the lower result.
Okay.
Okay. But we have one more question that might help with this, which is you can either push yourself on a roll or take a GM consequence. If you push yourself, you mark 2 stress and you get a dice. If you take a GM consequence, you take an extra dice, but I get to tell you what the consequence is, and then you cannot avoid that consequence. It will happen no matter what you roll.
I love it. So I have 1 dice to work with right now.
You have 0 dice to work with.
I do have 0. I will push myself then and add 2 stress.
So mark 2 stress, and then you get to take a dice. So now you're up at 1 dice. And I think because you're down here alone, no one can really assist you.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll that 1 die, and let's see what happens.
1d6.
1d6.
Oh boy, here goes something. 5.
Okay, hey. So you hesitate, and you can either back off or accept 1 consequence that I'm about to describe right now. The place that you are in shimmers briefly for a moment, Steve, and back in the room that they were in, experimenting on these humans, it shifts slightly, and now in those places are both yours and Olivia's parents. They're the ones now tied up on the beds.
Oh my goodness.
And the where there used to be an alien coming towards you is now Olivia coming towards you. Do you back off? Or do you go through with it?
So I still have my memory of what I saw first.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your memory is there.
I do not back off.
Okay. All right.
Olivia doesn't listen to this podcast, does she?
I don't think she does. She does? Oh, that's funny. Well, she's
Only a little bit.
look. She's already probably dead. The brain slug's probably got her. So I don't know what to tell you.
That's the thing.
Sorry.
That's the thing. I'm probably imagining that, even if it's not confirmed, that everyone I knew is brain slugged.
So with a 5, you have the usual effect, which is to mark 2 ticks. I'm gonna create a competing clock called for lack of a better term, like opportunity to escape.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make that a 6-segment clock as well. And you now have two segments marked on that 6-segment clock. As you swing your machete, and it cuts off this figment, this image of Olivia's head, and it just rolls down in front of you, stares at you.
Oh my god.
What are Johnny and Danny doing up top?
Just about to ask if we have an opportunity. I think I would probably pretty rapidly actually follow Steve down the stairs.
Yeah, same.
Then you come down right as Steve has gotten done chopping what you would... Johnny probably would know who this person is. Danny might not, but you see Steve chop off Olivia's head.
So they see it as Olivia's head too.
I think in this scenario, though, I'm seeing that,
Olivia.
and I would not assume that it's actually Olivia. There's no reason to believe that Olivia's in this basement.
Yes.
And then I just
so-
killed her on sight.
What do you
Steve,
do?
we should get out of here.
Yes. So the other two aliens that I saw that now transformed, are they still standing, impersonating someone else, or?
They are aliens still, but they are very quickly coming onto Steve. So you were going to have to do something to like help Steve escape and get out.
I'll attack one of them.
Awesome.
Okay. With what?
I've got my slingshot that we talked about before we started recording. I've got a slingshot with like pellets that are these like weird alien things that I found. I don't even entirely know what they do.
Yeah.
But I pull out my slingshot in one of these and I draw and
Get it.
loose it at one of them, whichever one's closer to Steve.
I love it so much. Let me just see. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. First thing I want you to do is mark 1 level of degradation on your alien ammo. All right. Once you get to 3, you're gonna have to find something else.
Okay.
All right. Because it's ammo, right? It's not weird tech. I think
I did mark it as
sense.
weird tech, but we were kind of playing around with it being like a weird tech ammo.
I think ammo makes the most sense for this.
Okay.
Just because then it's like, I think some of the fun is like now you got to find something else to do,
Yeah.
or find more of that thing, or build
Right.
more of that thing, or what have you. So, mark that degradation, and then let's get to the roll.
I don't know if this matters, but just for the sake of like being upfront, because I didn't want it to be like OP and play with things too much. My tool that I took is the slingshot.
Is a slingshot? Yep, I picked that up. Yep.
Okay.
So go ahead and add a die, and then do you have any traits that you think would help? I know.
I mean, I think I could see an argument for leadership helping here, but I'm not going to die on that hill.
I'm willing. Yeah. 2 dice. Take that. Yeah.
Johnny to the rescue.
Does any trait hinder you? It's unassuming.
We didn't keep unassuming. I think we
No,
switched
I
to
have
leadership.
leadership and resourceful.
Leadership and resourceful. Okay, no. So then no traits hinder you. Do you want to push yourself, take 2 stress, or let me give you a consequence?
I'll take 2 stress.
Okay. So 3
Stressful
dice.
day.
Okay.
We went to the worst place in Pie Town first. Should have gotten ice cream.
That's not bad. I rolled
Wait,
2 6s and a 5.
Oh, wow. So
Multiple
2 sixes
sixes.
is a critical success. And I forgot to tell you your position and effect. I think it was the whole thing is a risky position. But with the usual effect, I'm going to increase it. It would have been usual. I'm going to increase it to a high effect. And you clock one of these aliens square in the head. And it hits straight in the forehead. And its head just like snaps back. And it doesn't snap back up as you see its body like turn to stone when its head completely snapped back.
Whoa.
Will the next one do that? Who knows? You have marked 3 more segments on the 6-segment clock. There's 1 alien left. Danny, I want to know what you do.
So I have a tool.
Okay.
So I pull out a 5-foot-long claymore, and I scream and I run towards it.
Okay. All right.
You find a 5-foot claymore.
We won't ask that question. Danny just found it at some point.
I pull it up from behind me, and Steve and Johnny, your first thought is, where was he keeping that?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know.
He had it the entire time. Yeah, he had it the entire time. I'm assuming your goal is to cut this
Straight down the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
Just pulling out the great sword, fantasy
Bisect it
style.
vertically.
Ridiculous.
When Danny first said Claymore, I pictured an empty
you pictured
personnel
the
mine.
mine?
No,
I was like a 5 foot. Like, why would you have that? And why would you run with it?
it's a claymore for tanks.
I thought that as well too, and then I was like,
man.
no, I think he means a sword.
And they
You
went
know
sword.
that I've been working on fantasy writing recently because he said Claymore, and the sword is the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
So I was right there with you.
Why don't you? I think this is a risky position, and I think it's a usual effect as well. So let's start with the 1 dice for sheer luck. And do you have a trait that would help? You think?
I use blades every day as a chef.
Oh,
I have form.
that I.
The exact.
There
the
are a
exact
couple
motion I'm
chefs on
using.
TikTok who've gotten popular cutting meat with swords.
With swords. Claymores are pretty big, though.
Yeah.
They're not like a chef's knife.
I cannot weigh in meaningfully on this.
I butchered
Oh,
an
it's true, that's
elephant
why I'm not saying anything.
With a sword?
with this same claymore.
All right.
He broke the law.
Okay.
There's the apocalypse.
Okay. All right.
It is the apocalypse.
Take a die.
Elephants are
Take
like
a die.
practically sentient. It's
That's what the cops said, though. They were like, "It's the apocalypse." You know,
No, it was an alien
Let's see
elephant. It wasn't a. It wasn't a Earth elephant.
I forgot
like
they brought
8
their
trucks.
zoo.
Yeah.
I don't think you have any traits that would hinder you. I want to ask this question.
Yeah.
You don't mechanically have a fear, but I feel like with your traumatic event, seeing other humans being experimented on might give you a little pause.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Was probed.
Yeah, it was probed. Why don't you go ahead and take a die away
So 1 die.
to 1 die. Now, do you want to push yourself or take a consequence?
Take a consequence.
Okay. Love it.
just watching Danny think.
Why don't you take that die back? And doesn't really matter what you roll, whether you succeed or not. You hear a number of alien footsteps coming from up top on the top of the stairs, and your way is cut off back up that way.
Justin, can you just give me a noise? What does the alien footsteps sound like? That is terrifying. Oh my gosh.
You asked for it.
That's the sound of their feet on a floor.
Yeah, that's-
my
that is their
Are
goodness.
they running or
That's
doing
their
something
feet.
else?
There. Look, it's both for them.
Wait, so I killed the alien?
No, roll. You got to roll your dice.
Oh,
first.
roll a dice. Okay.
I'm saying whatever you
whether or
roll,
not that's what's
the
happening, okay.
consequence is that
I rolled a 4 and a 6.
Yes.
I take the higher of them.
you take the higher. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, you guys very quickly dispatch these 3 aliens, but you hear more coming from up the stairs, and you have to decide now what you want to do.
Do the images of the people that I knew and loved change back?
They do not.
What is going on? Is there any exit down here that we can see besides
There are
the stairs?
There are a number of other hallways. Yeah, there's hallways to the left and to the right. You can see a number of doors down there as well.
Wow, this is serious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Being a pretty resourceful person who's gotten used to exploring homes he doesn't belong in, do I get a clear sense of which of these hallways will most readily lead to our ability to exit?
Ooh.
I don't know if it really matters.
Okay.
That's just me saying just pick a direction.
Yeah. I understood. All right, guys. It doesn't matter what way we go. We just gotta go. Let's go.
All right, left it is.
And I just
All right. You turn and suddenly I'm not holding the claymore anymore and it's nowhere to be found.
No. You have a claymore still. It wasn't that it just disappears out of nowhere.
No,
it's just that
no, I
you
saw
didn't
my person.
You didn't say you had a claymore until that moment.
I follow with a limp.
Mechanically, what the aliens coming down from the top of the stairs is, I marked a segment on the group gets captured clock.
Okay.
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 All right.
You begin running down this hallway, and as you're running, you see a number of other aliens who are experimenting on humans. The aliens look like you would expect those aliens to look like. The humans, you don't recognize any of them. Yeah, they're like that. Spindly little mushroom aliens.
Flying inflatable tube men.
Flying inflatable tube man.
Oh no!
Eventually, you run down the hall to this room that has almost like a giant Tesla coil in the middle of it.
Wow.
And as it's lighting up and moving, well, you know what? Actually, let's do this before we get to that. Let's get a roll for like how well you move down these hallways. We're gonna do a group action roll. They're group action rolls in Forged in the Dark games. I love them so much. I need someone who's going to lead the action.
Sounds like our leadership guy, Johnny.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Daddy.
So let's start the roll. Now, here's how this works. All three of you are going to roll.
Hang on, he called me daddy, Mark.
Yeah, we'll mark the clock.
Okay. All right, I'm not going to clock. Good call. Good call. Good call. Good call.
What if the clock gets filled in the middle of like combat?
Again, I'm not gonna you do with the clock being filled how you want to do with the clock being filled.
We're in the middle of a fight. Steve turns. You're like, oh god.
Johnny, you are leading this action. For every person who fails this roll, so all three of you are going to roll. For each one who fails, you're going to take 1 stress.
Okay.
So 1 die. I think your leadership trait is definitely going to help you there. I'll give you resourceful too. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give you that. I don't think. Yeah, you don't have no traits that. Do you want to push yourself or take a consequence for
I
another
will
die?
push myself again.
Okay, so take 2 more stress. So you're rolling with 4 dice.
Okay.
Each of you actually are rolling with 4 dice.
Okay.
Ooh, this
think that's how it
is
works.
good.
It says 1 person leads the action. Everyone else rolls with the same attribute. I think that means you rolled the 4 dice.
We're playing this game wrong. Who knows? No way of
knows?
knowing.
There's no way of knowing. I mean, well, there is a way of knowing.
No way of
Sully will
knowing.
tell us.
Someone will tell
Yes,
us.
Sully will let us know.
Ooh.
It's because there aren't attributes. There are attributes in Blades in the Dark and Scum and Villainy, like actual skills, but there aren't attributes in this game. I should say Apocalypse Roadtrip, written and designed by Mynar Lenahan. So it's well designed. It's fun. It's very very short version.
I did
Forged in the
find
Dark.
some typos, but I figured it's
Yeah,
because it was Forged in the Dark, so they probably couldn't see that well.
Good, wonderful.
Would you like our rolls, Justin?
Yes. Did anyone
mark one
fail?
on the clock for that?
So sorry, failing means that
The highest die you rolled is a 1 to 3.
Okay.
no, I did not.
I
I've succeeded. Danny, did you succeed?
Danny,
I did not fail.
Excellent.
okay,
5551. 5551.
okay, I got you. Johnny, what did you roll then?
My highest was a 4.
Okay. So you don't take any stress. As you get to this room, you see this giant Tesla coil. You've, at this point, evaded most of the aliens. In this room, though, you see a number of aliens, probably about a half dozen, who are working on this device. And they, for a moment, don't see you. So you have an opportunity to back off if you want and go a different direction. Or you can go into this room and deal with whatever this is. Because what you see is, as this thing is giving off energy and electricity, it is almost as though your perception changes. And then you start putting together, wait a second. Steve saw something that wasn't there when it was. Maybe this whole town
Yep.
isn't actually
Good
stuck
thing we
in the
didn't get ice cream.
1950s.
Told you it was too good
Yeah.
to be true, Steve.
I want to see what happens if I sprint forward and touch the Tesla coil.
You gonna touch it? That's the first action, Johnny.
Whoa.
Johnny's swimming out the sea.
Whoa. All right.
Touch the butt.
Touched the butt.
This is definitely a roll for sure. I think this is a desperate action. This is a desperate position.
I was gonna
sure.
throw an object into it.
What?
Johnny's gonna go throw himself into it.
What is your intended, like, what are you trying to get out of this? What do you want to happen?
I mean, what if it gives me superpowers?
This is one motivation.
Okay,
That was
1,000%.
my legitimate thought, and then I touch it came out of my mouth. So
Yep,
here we
I
are.
love it. It's
Johnny is
definitely,
gonna
it's
not make it to
definitely-
episode 2.
it's definitely a desperate position for sure, and I feel like the effect is let's just say it's a low effect. Let's just say it's a low effect. I would say maybe your unprepared, just raw body touching this testicle is probably not intended to touch it in order to gain superpowers. So
You don't know.
I do. I'm saying right now, it is not intended for that purpose. Go ahead. So take your die. I am reticent to give you any more dice for any of your other traits.
It's okay.
So I think maybe this is just no traits help you. Do any traits hinder you though? No, I don't think so. Do you want to push yourself? Take a consequence.
Yeah, I'm gonna push myself. I'm already gonna take
Okay.
enough of a consequence when I fail this roll.
All right, so you take 2 more stress, and you are rolling with 1 die.
No.
I gotta just like, I don't know if you guys can see it's a 6. I don't know if you can, it's like not showing up.
Wow.
I rolled a
Oh my
6.
god. Oh my god.
All right,
No.
Good time to roll a 6.
Yeah,
that's a great time to roll a 6.
Good to know how Johnny would act in a real apocalypse.
I gotta touch it. I gotta touch it.
I gotta touch it.
Don't do it, Johnny. No.
Here's what I will give you.
Superpowers?
I will not be giving you superpowers, but let's see what happens. You touch this thing. Johnny, or Steve, Danny, you just see Johnny run forward while the aliens aren't aware and launch himself into this Tesla coil. And his body hits it and starts phasing in and out of reality. And then he solidifies and lands back on the ground. And Johnny, when you land on the ground on this like metal floor, right around you, like where you're touching essentially, is grass and dirt.
I don't understand what this is. I'm assuming the aliens at this point have
Absolutely, 1,000%. I said a half dozen. The 6 of them turn around, and they start moving towards you. So let's see what Steve, Danny, what do you do?
So I have weird tech. Wait,
Okay.
we don't see Johnny?
No, you see Johnny now. He was
Johnny?
phasing in and out of reality, and then he solidified again and,
All right.
and landed. And where his feet are touching the ground, where his hand is touching the ground, is no longer like a metal floor. It's
We
like
all
grass
see
and
grass.
dirt. Mm-hmm.
So I have, when I was probed, and when I escaped, I stole an alien grenade that turns any humans in its immediate vicinity to marmosets.
don't use it then.
Yeah, please. I don't want to be a marmoset.
Why would you use that now?
It might be useful to be a marmoset.
No. How would we
You
turn
don't think
back,
so?
Danny?
Definitely wasn't useful to
No,
jump
it,
into the
took-
coil.
it only lasts for an hour.
I don't want to be a marmoset for any amount of time.
Okay, I won't use the marmoset grenade.
Terrible idea.
You've defined what your weird tech is, so I think you can't go back. That is.
Oh, I'm not. I defined that at the start. I knew what it was gonna be.
Let this be a lesson to listeners. Don't do what Danny did. You can hold off on defining what that resource is until it's actually relevant.
I have a claymore and a marmoset grenade.
Okay. So you're not going to throw your marmoset grenade. What are you going to do? I mean, look, you could just do it.
You just
Might
know
be
that
useful to be
the
marmosets.
players don't think it's a great idea.
They're small.
What would being smaller accomplish here?
Be smaller
like
and
we
faster.
Smaller does not always equal faster.
Well, marmosets I think are faster than humans.
Danny, look at me. It's just you and me now. It's just you and me.
I really want to throw this grenade, Justin.
What do you do? Yeah, you want to throw the grenade?
This grenade.
You want to throw the grenade?
I'm not gonna throw the grenade.
Okay, all right.
Daddy told me not to.
Okay, marking another segment on that clock. Nick scared you. You set that up. What do you do?
Justin, do I see any controls that they were operating for this Tesla coil?
Yes, there are a number of controls, like pretty much all around this entire room.
Okay, so I wouldn't have to go very far to get to a control of some type.
Nope, absolutely not.
Johnny's no longer touching the Tesla coil. He's on the ground away from it.
He is on the ground. Yep.
I brandish my machete while I step towards some controls and just start messing with the controls.
What is your intent?
My intent is to scare and preoccupy them to afford us an exit.
Okay. All right.
Like maybe they have to do something to get the machine back under control. I don't know.
I love it. This feels like a desperate position to me, for sure.
That's a great idea.
I think
Better
this
than
whole
pingy marmosets.
this whole thing is. Oh, that would have been a desperate position, absolutely. Also, as well. Just to be clear, that would have been desperate. I'm gonna say that it is a low effect, only because you have no idea what you're doing. You're literally just like throwing levers and pressing buttons.
Is there any way I can aid him by like bashing at things with my claymore?
So there is an aid and assist mechanic, but you have to have a bond with that person, and I don't think any of you have like a bond. You have like your starting bonds, like your sentence, but there's like a mechanical number that you like grow as you're playing. So
it's for the long game, huh?
it's for the long game, yeah. So cannot unfortunately assist him at this point. So
Cool.
take one die for sheer luck.
Okay.
Do you think you got any traits that will help? Sneaky and empathetic. I don't know
It's
if
a
any
stretch
help
on
or
both.
hinder you. So
Right.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say no.
The
You wanna push
level
yourself-
of emotional awareness with which he strikes these consoles is
It's beautiful, really.
I could say that maybe my empathy gave me intuition and insight into the fact that this would disturb them.
no,
Fine.
no.
1d6.
Unless you want to push yourself or take a consequence.
I'll just take the d6. How about that?
All right.
Voila.
Roll that d6.
It's rolling, digitally speaking. 4.
Okay. All right. That's fun. You pull the levers, and as you pull them, sparks start flying off the Tesla coil, flying off of the like equipment that you're playing with, and they start hitting you in the arm, the shoulder, the legs, pretty much all of your body. You feel these little electrical zaps all along. And Johnny and Danny, you see Steve also start to phase in and out of reality a little bit, but he does not solidify like Johnny does immediately. So
Is he gonna use Steve's superpowers?
you can back off. You can back off, or you can keep playing with this and succeed at what you're doing, but you will take the level 1 injury phasing in and out of reality.
Until I see the aliens back off, I do not stop.
Okay, so I would like for you to mark a level 1 injury called phasing in and out of reality.
Okay.
Level 1 injury.
It's
Justin,
minor,
does anything feel different about me now?
The soft patch of grass beneath you is.
Yes.
Well, like I have a couple of questions like related
Yeah.
to this. Like,
Yeah.
do I feel different? And does that grass feel like it's actually present, or is it an illusion?
It does. It does feel like it's present.
Then I also want to test something. Like I'm gonna focus.
Just one moment. Let's finish resolving Steve's role here.
Oh, okay.
You took the level 1 injury. We did. But I'm also marking the clock, and that is the 6th segment on the clock, which means that should you want to, you have the opportunity to escape, because Steve playing with these levers is enough that the aliens sort of like freak out and all like scatter. Some of them are like desperately trying to like play with other levers and buttons to like stop this now starting to overheat and explode Tesla coil.
I love
Let's
it.
run.
Let's get out of here.
We should
Remember
jet.
stats?
As long as I'm
No.
corporeal, I will try to escape.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that'll come back to bite you. You're corporeal enough to like move, but there are parts of your body that like disappear momentarily and they'll come back.
Oh, it's so scary.
I think this is time for another group action. Who wants to lead the group action?
Not the guy who's phasing in and out, probably.
Unless you want to, Danny, I'm happy to lead this one again. It's up to you.
Let's let daddy be daddy.
Okay.
All right, that's 2 more.
No, wait, no. I don't think it should be every single time I say it. That was just one
Okay.
sentence.
Okay, all right. So 1. All right.
Yeah, that was an instance of daddy.
One instance. One daddy instance.
Well, now I got to mark one for Steve.
No, I don't have a clock.
No, Steve does not have that clock. Steve does not have that clock.
Okay. So what am I rolling?
Well, if you're just leading again and trying to get them out, I think it's the 4 dice is what you rolled
Okay.
last time.
Yeah.
But I need everybody to roll 4 dice.
Okay.
Let's get Danny and Steve's rolls first, and then we'll get to Johnny.
I succeeded.
Okay.
I also succeeded.
Okay. So no additional stress. Johnny, what did you roll?
I succeeded again critically.
Well, then I think you easily escape out of this laboratory underneath Pie Town. Quickly move back up the stairs, past the aliens that were chasing you down after you. They went one way, you just went around. When you get out, the whole of Pie Town is not Pie Town anymore.
Yep.
There are like
We just
parts of
got
it.
here.
There are like there are like parts of it that are like decimated and war torn, and the aliens are like freaking out because they're also like, you see like a young woman dancing with like her quarterback high school boyfriend, but then all of a sudden they're aliens, and then they shift back to that, and they're like quickly caught between this reality, and it gives you enough opportunity to get to your car and drive out. Now,
I look back at Steve and I'm like, still think I should bring my family here?
No,
to do this, who's driving the car?
I am, because Johnny can't.
I don't know where this came from.
Hey, I had to choose a bond, Johnny.
I'm a very good driver.
I believe you. It's also rare that I find someone who's as cautious as I am, though. And I'm also very good at fuel conservation.
Yeah.
And I'm the one
Being
with the
cautious
fuel.
is definitely the thing you want to do when you're trying to escape quickly.
Not saying it applies now. I'm just the default driver.
When you all sit in the car, Johnny, your seat, your seat is no longer a car like cushion seat. you're like straddling a horseback somehow in this car.
What?
But as it moves, like you're continuing with the car, but your seat is not a seat. It's
Okay.
a
I want to
back
do the
horse.
thing I was going to do when you stopped me in the room.
Yeah.
No. I want to see if I can consciously turn it back into a car seat.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh. It's like some
I-
Bioshock Infinite stuff. going on.
I think it's definitely a desperate action.
Okay.
I'll say no. I'll say risky. I'll say it's a risky position,
Okay.
and I'll say it's a usual effect, and you intend to try and turn it back into a car seat. Go ahead and roll. I think 1 die. I don't think any traits help you or hinder you, really,
Okay.
Unless you are absolutely demanding that.
No.
6.
What'd you get?
No.
Another 6.
No.
Another
What?
6.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He has superpowers.
Yeah, I will say this. In this moment, yeah, you do. You were able to turn it back into a car seat. I will say it is not as though you have complete mastery over these abilities. So you will be rolling when you want to try and do this. But
No, that's
you
fine.
realize that when pretty much whenever you touch something, unless you're concentrating, its reality shifts to something else.
Oh my gosh.
Something similar, but not the thing that you're touching.
Yeah.
I'm loving the like dust fire chaos element right now.
I want to test one more thing here real quick as Steve is driving very slowly away from this town.
Excuse me.
I want to try on myself. Like, I want to see if I can, like, turn myself into... Like, I
Alarmist.
think there's, like, another type of these aliens that we've seen that are, like, really bulky
Yep.
and powerful. I want to try and turn myself into one of those.
I think this is desperate.
Yeah.
I think this is desperate.
We're in the middle of a car. We're driving.
I know.
You've got the die. You want to push yourself or take a consequence?
I'm going to push myself.
Okay, 2 more stress. What are you at?
How much
8 stress
are you
now?
at?
Yeah. I'm very, very
So two more, and you'll have a fear.
Yeah, the fear of not having fun playing this game.
So 2 dice. What do you roll?
Oh, 2 dice?
Yeah.
No.
2 sixes?
I swear. No.
I swear to God.
What? Oh my God,
That's
Johnny.
amazing. That is amazing.
Johnny.
I believe you. Before, I had only intended it to be stuff you touched because it seemed more chaotic and fun to have it be a little unavoidable. But yeah, with 2 sixes, I think you in the car you just hear this like, and you turn back, and sitting where Johnny was is this like massive buff, like bipedal alien that's got huge forearms and biceps.
Oh, God,
Johnny!
Stop the car! Stop the car!
It's okay. It's me. It's me. It's me.
Your voice is so attractive.
Oh God, he's
Make
right.
the clock for me and Steve now.
Oh no.
Okay, sounds good. Johnny. All right. We'll make that an 8-segment clock as well. And we'll just go ahead and mark 1 on that.
I feel something in me that I've never felt before, but keep driving.
But with a little concentrating, you can turn back into Johnny if you want. But
Yes.
your plan has come through. You've searched through the now ruins of Pie Town. You realize it was never a 1950s town to begin with. You unfortunately didn't really come out with any resources other than reality bending on Johnny's side, but nothing.
Can I add that as a
actionable.
trait?
You know what? Let's see. What are your goals again, everybody?
Revenge
Mine is
for
to
me.
find a safe place for my family, which, you know,
Yeah.
you do by jumping into Tesla cars.
I'm trying to find where
My
it
goal
says
is to figure out what the heck this probe inside me does.
Johnny had trouble
Close.
staying in character, even though his character was himself.
Oh, here we go. Okay. I'll tell you what. It's not a specific trait now, but it might be eventually as you
Okay.
get more mastery over it.
Sure.
I will say that you can also mark one tick on your clock for your
Okay.
goal, because I think you were trying to find a place, right? And now you know Pie Town not safe.
Not
You might be able
Python.
to
Yeah.
bend reality to
Python.
make a safe place for you and
Maybe
your
you
family.
can just do that. It is at this point, guys, I need another plan. As you travel away from
yeah.
Pie Town, what is your plan? Where are you going? What are you
I
doing?
mean, the immediate thing as we're driving away is, am I still phasing in and out
Oh yeah.
while driving? I'm like,
Oh yeah. Yep. Occasionally, the car will jerk a little bit as like Steve's left hand disappears.
Steve, you need to
Steve,
pull
should I
over.
drive?
Steve, pull over.
yeah, it's Danny's turn. Sorry, Johnny. I'm like
No,
looking
it's
at
okay.
Johnny, and Johnny like barely fits in the back of the section of this.
No, I've turned back.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Very good.
What is the plan? Do you want to travel? Do you want to search? Do you want to act on some information or do something? You want to look out? You want to rest? It is now at this point a little bit after dusk.
Yeah, it's getting dark.
We might have to
getting
find a
dark.
place to rest.
All right, we should rest.
Yeah, so essentially we want to drive far away enough from Pie Town that we just feel safer. And then
Okay.
you think it's most feasible to make camp, or do you think we can make it to like Sleepy Eye to the north? No, let's through a bunch
So-
of woods and stuff.
Like
I mean,
The
any other
the
place
most-
we go is just as likely to be dangerous, right?
Yeah, maybe the wild is better.
I think maybe. You could sleep in the
What's
truck.
the pile up?
that is just a pileup of cars.
Oh, nice.
Is there a rumored explanation for why there's a pileup of cars?
There might be.
Maybe when we find a place that feels safe, relatively like wilderness, like let's get
Yep.
away from other things, and we'll see if maybe I can temporarily turn the car into a larger shelter.
Okay. Let's do this. It sounds like you're trying to travel. Sounds like your plan is to travel.
Yeah, travel
Yes.
is the first plan. Yep.
I do need to know where ultimately you're trying to get to. I need to know from point A to point B where you're trying to go.
I mean, somebody mentioned Sleepy Eye. Do we want to just head that way?
That
Towards that
direction, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you
so-
planning
say
to take
Sleepy
the
Eye is
road?
destination for now.
Are you planning to
there's
take
a
the road?
Dotted road line.
Yeah. There's a dotted road line.
I think road is a safe default until we get, like some distance on Pie Town, and then we try to go off road, like Johnny said, to get away from civilization.
Okay. In that case, I need to know how much time you're going to spend. If you spend any more than 4, you're going to be at a new day. The sun will rise, and you will not have the time to sleep anymore. Really.
Is there a
With the
specific
car-
amount of time it takes to move hex to hex?
Probably about
Yeah,
3.
so
That's what it says
I
here
would-
for a car.
I would say for your Ford F-150, that's probably like a usual effect. So I believe that's like two. Let's see. Yeah, sports car is
hexes?
probably. Yeah, a sports car they would say would travel across the road at 3 hexes. So I would say
Okay, so probably two hexes per time?
per time. And for each, let's see, what is it? Your fuel. You have to keep that in mind as well too.
Oh, yeah.
So each 2 hexes is 1 fuel.
Okay. I say we do 2 hexes. I think that's enough distance for now on the town.
Cut.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I will mark
so
1
two-
degradation.
You're going to mark 2 degradation. And that means that in order to get to Sleepy Eye, you're going to have to find some more fuel.
Dang it.
So I will move you 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that look good?
I thought
That
we
puts
said
you
that.
I thought we said 2 hexes.
Yeah, we just wanted to go 2 hexes.
Just 2 hexes? Okay.
Yeah, man. That's why I marked
did you think
one.
we meant? Oh, did you think we meant like we're spending 2 time?
2 time. You're just spending 1 time. Okay.
One
I
time.
Gotcha. I
So
did.
1 time.
One fuel.
1 time. All right. So just 1 fuel then. 1 degradation.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll the 1 die. Any traits? Any traits that help you? I don't really think so. You're in a car.
Keep it basic.
Yeah.
Just travel.
You're just driving. Yeah. And you did spend that extra die, so let's go ahead and roll 2 die and see what happens. You're gonna like that a little bit more. Okay.
This road is another alien.
This arrow is another alien. No, as you're on sort of the open road right now, you see a number of UFOs coming down this way as they have now seen the ruins of Pie Town. And I rolled a 2, so that is the obstacle. It's a pretty risky obstacle as they can see you very clearly. But the reward, I rolled a 6. So I will say that once you get past this obstacle, you will find a safe place to camp.
Okay. So the obstacle right now is just UFOs overhead.
UFOs are overhead. You see them coming this way towards Pie Town, and then they start to slow down as they get closer to you. So I'd like to
Johnny,
know,
make us invisible.
Danny, as the driver first, I want to know what you do.
I just keep driving.
Okay. Just to like keep speeding away, or are you pulling off the road?
I was told where to go, and so I just keep going that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Wonderful.
you can off-road it. That could be the good point at which we switch from road to wilderness.
Okay, yeah,
Sure,
I'm told
okay.
that. I'm definitely looking at UFOs and being like, guys,
Yep, just let's ditch it.
I'm going to need you to roll then. So let's see what we've got here. We've got 1 dice just because. Any traits that help you? I don't think so.
Yeah, chef.
Well, actually, your alien sonar might help in this regard.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like while I'm traveling, if it would
Yeah.
be possible to like use it to try to avoid alien tech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yep. Go
Okay.
ahead and take that extra dice. Do you want to push yourself or take a GM consequence?
Take some stress.
Okay, give yourself
Seems
2 stress.
It is very
Yeah,
appropriate.
stressed in
It's
this
always my
situation.
answer.
Roll with 3 dice.
Seems like quite the stressful situation. Rolling with
3
3
dice.
dice.
Yep.
Take the highest one.
The highest one.
4.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start a new clock, which is you escape their pursuit of you. It'll be it's just a 4-segment clock. And potential consequence. You know what it is? This off-roading that you're doing now, or preparing to do, takes up a bit more fuel than you had thought. So, you're going to have to degrade another unit of fuel.
Okay, so now we are at 2.
If you want to, otherwise you can back off and stay on the road.
I think we should go off road.
Off-road.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
But does going
So-
off-road give us the first mark on that clock for getting away?
I will give you a mark on that clock, yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're still pursuing you, but now you're kind of like in the trees a little bit more, so it might be a little bit easier for you to find another way to escape them. I think Johnny had something, or Steve, Danny wanted Johnny to do something.
Yeah, Danny wanted me to do something. I don't know what to do though.
I was thinking I'd turn the car into something. Maybe less conspicuous.
I mean, wouldn't they see it turn into something? They're like,
Yeah,
right
for
there.
now, while you guys are doing that, like I reach over with my phasing hand, and in a moment when it's solid, I turn off the lights to the truck and say, "Sorry, Danny, we can't risk it." And so you just have to use what remaining light there is to avoid
like
the shadows of the trees.
Oh God!
I love that. I love that a lot.
We gotta lose
Wait.
the UFOs.
If I stick my tongue out, does the green blinking light provide enough light?
I mean, I guess
That would defeat
The
the
UFOs
point.
are right behind us.
wait, we're under tree cover now, right?
a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
in,
that's
and,
a pretty
in, and
good
out of
point,
tree,
yeah.
in and out of tree cover. Yeah.
I put my hand outside of the car and I like touch the top of the truck and try to turn the full external surface of the truck into mirrors.
Ooh.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I think
reality
that's
bending.
that is a risky position, but I'll say it's a usual effect. So,
Okay.
what do we got here? We got just one die,
I think so.
I think. You know what? I'll give you a resourceful die.
Okay.
Why not? Take your resourceful trait. That seems resourceful.
All right. I'm going to use these purple dice again because they've been really good to me. Fuck me.
Oh, and I should have asked if you wanted to take stress or
Not this time. No.
Okay, take a consequence.
Oh.
I only need to succeed
It
on
happened.
one of the dice, right?
You take your highest roll.
Okay. So a 5.
Yes.
5. Okay.
The one I saw initially, I rolled both of them and I looked and the first one was a 1. And I was like,
No.
Oh no. Looking at my list of consequences.
consequence.
No more
Uh,
screen time.
Well, here's what I think it is. I think your effect is lessened. So you do, but you are still working on your control over this ability, and so the mirrors disappear occasionally. So you're not always have this reflective surface, and so they may at times be thrown off, and they may at times not be thrown off. So rather than mark 2 on that clock, I'm just going to mark 1 on that clock, on that 4-segment clock.
Reasonable.
So we're at what total?
You were at 2.
So my
What,
lights didn't give us anything.
Well, did you want to roll for that?
Sure. Yeah. If it's going to give us
That's-
a piece of the clock to hide this
If that's
operation.
what you do is like reach up and turn all the lights on.
Yes. Yes.
I would say that actually that's a pretty secure position. You're just
Nice.
turning the lights off.
Yeah.
And the usual effect.
yeah.
Yeah, let's do usual effect. I was debating
Do
between
I get
low
another
and
die
usual,
for sneaky?
but- Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So is it 2?
It is 2 unless you want to push yourself or take a consequence.
I'll push myself.
Okay, so 2 more stress.
2 more stress, 1 more die, correct?
2 more stress, 1 more die.
All right. 3d6. And my highest is 6.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, with going off road and the mirrors and turning the lights off, you've filled your 4-segment clock.
Yes.
Nice.
These 4 UFOs that quickly veered off to pursue you as you went off road are like buzzing around trying to find you, and eventually they just continue on their way towards Pie Town.
Excellent.
And it is at this moment that you come across a very well-kept but clearly abandoned house. And there's no one around. You can spend time like looking, but that is your reward. I rolled a 6, so you do what you intended to, which is to find a safe place to sleep.
Amazing.
There's no alien tech here. I think we're safe.
Thanks, Danny. Let's rest. Can you
Yeah.
cook something for us?
Now let's do this. I think your plan is done. Let's do the rest action. Yeah, the rest plan. I think
That's a thing.
That's the thing. That's the thing you do when
Yeah.
you're resting. I mean, unless you're like, I want to go looking and search around this place for some resources, or if that's what you want to do, go for it. But
I mean,
feels
is
like
that,
time to rest.
is that intensive, or could we just kind of figure that out quickly?
No, you would have to spend time searching, and we would do another engagement roll. There might be an obstacle in your path, and you would have to spend time doing it.
I think I vote rest. What about you, looting Johnny?
I'm gonna rest too.
Okay, good.
I'm down for a rest.
Cool.
Okay. Are you planning to take the rest of the day, which is 3 more segments of the day, to rest?
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gives you all 3 rest actions. And it doesn't say if you all get 3 rest actions or if it's like a group thing. I'm going to say that you each get 3 rest actions.
Yeah, it seems like it's an individual thing.
It seems like an individual thing. So on page 14 is the list of rest actions and how much it costs to do those things. We'll just say like sleeping is a part of it, but you've got like maybe like an hour or 2 to like, you know, do something else. You can treat your wounds to try and lower a injury, or to spend so you can spend meds to mark injuries as healing, or you can attempt first aid, which would be an action roll. You can eat any snacks that you've got, in which case you would mark another well-fed box. You can try and repair something that's been degraded. You can cut loose and just have like a conversation with someone else, and that's going to increase your bond level, which will let you assist each other in the future. Or you can just start like trying to craft something, in which case I'll start a clock, and once you fill that clock, you'll craft whatever you're trying to craft. Or you can spend the night preparing, in which case you would add you're preparing to achieve your goal, doing something that gets you closer to preparing your goal.
Love it. That's cool. I mean, first priority for me is I need to figure out this phasing thing. Is that kind of out of the realm of normal treatment, or can I roll to do something?
Do you have any meds? Any med slots?
I do. I do have a med slot.
Well, then I think if you want to...
For some reason, Tylenol works on
Noxes. No, it's not Tylenol, but meds can be alien meds too, right? Maybe
Okay.
you've come across
Tylenol.
some sort of it's alien Tylenol. You can spend that med, like degrade that med to first. Tell me what that med is. Like what alien meds have you found in your travels that you use in this moment to help with this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going through like my satchel, and I come across a bottle that just says stability pills, and I'm like, I mean, like it doesn't have a proper like label on it. It was something that some other human wrote on the outside of the bottle. There's no instructions. There's nothing else to go by, and so I'm just like, I mean, it sounds appropriate, and I pop one.
Yep. All right, now you have a choice to make. You can degrade that to mark that injury as healing. In other words, in a day or 2, it'll be fine. Or you can attempt a first aid action roll. So you won't degrade your med resource, but there's a chance that something worse will happen.
No, I'll degrade the meds.
Okay. I mean, you have a chance of like completely getting rid of it.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm gonna pop a pill and hope for the best. So
Okay. Let's just stick with Steve. You pop this pill and it starts to stabilize you for a little bit. Do you do anything else?
So I'll mark that as healing.
As healing, yep.
Let's see.
That it takes 1 rest action to treat, so you've got 2 more rest actions.
Right. I think another thing will be Is it okay if I pass, actually? We come back to me, Justin?
That's fine. Yeah,
Cool.
we can do that. We can go round robin. Danny, what are you doing with your rest actions?
I'm gonna spend one tick eating.
Okay. So degrade.
I feel like that might.
What snack do you have?
Top ramen.
How do you cook the top ramen?
I don't.
Okay, wonderful.
Just crunching it.
Yeah, I
Wonderful.
sprinkle the flavor packet on top of it.
Wonderful. Great. That's fun.
Okay.
Go ahead and degrade that raw top ramen and mark another tick on the well-fed box.
Okay.
Johnny, what are you doing with your first rest action?
I'm gonna cut loose.
Who do you talk to?
I'll talk to Danny.
Okay.
Never mind.
Danny does that, which quickly deters Johnny from talking to him.
I walk in the room, I see Danny eating raw top ramen, and I turn around and go find Steve.
Oh, hey, Johnny. You saw Danny eating that thing too?
Yeah, I'm gonna let him have a minute.
Yeah, I'll let him have more than a minute. That's fine.
How are you feeling about your whatever you want to call this, phasing in and out?
I mean, it's not the worst thing that could have happened, I guess. We got out of there. I'm still sitting with chopping off Olivia's head today. How about you? Why'd you jump into the coil?
Well, I thought the aliens could do some cool stuff. Danny could do some weird stuff because of the aliens. I thought, hey, maybe this will work out for me. And I think it did.
So far, so good. Maybe next time we throw a different non-human object into the coil first. What do you think?
I think that if I had done that, I would not have these abilities. And so it's a bad idea.
Okay. That sounds like a gambling bias or something, but
You're a little too cautious, man.
we are alive so far, in part due to caution.
I mean, some could say throwing caution to the wind hasn't served us poorly yet.
Let's have a meal. Justin, I will use one of my
let's
actions
resolve
to eat.
Let's resolve this cut loose thing first.
Sure.
You're just gonna roll one die because no one has any bonds with anybody yet, so just one die, and you're gonna reduce your stress by that much.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Oh, that's needed.
And then I increase my bond with Steve. He doesn't increase it with me.
He does not increase it with you, but you increase yours to 1 with Steve.
Right. Perfect. Hey, that got rid of 4 stress.
Ooh. Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Half of what I incurred. So.
What you incurred. That's pretty good. And Steve, we're coming back to you. You're going to eat. You have a snack resource.
Yep, I do. I do have a snack.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell me what that is and degrade it.
It is most definitely a pack of Twinkies because that is the perfect apocalypse food.
Classic.
So he said to
Immune to
degrade it,
time.
Steve. You got to say some mean things about Twinkies.
You don't even count as food, but I'll eat you anyway. You're worthless.
All right.
And for my final action, I will reciprocate and cut loose. So that will be the same conversation of hang with Johnny, but I'll take the roll and see how much stress I lose.
Okay.
So I'll also take 1d6. And it is a 1.
Oh no!
Just 1 stress, but you increase your bond with Johnny.
Nice.
Danny, I think you have 2 more rest actions. What do you want to do?
Yes.
If you need time to think, you should have been thinking this entire time.
I was thinking this entire time.
I'm ready for my next one if Danny needs time.
We'll skip Johnny. Johnny, what do you want to do?
I want to cut loose some more.
You know what? I wasn't deterred. I'm gonna go watch you eat ramen.
Yeah, please talk with Danny now. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
He's done eating, so yeah.
Yeah, I walk.
I'm done eating. Okay.
Walk into the room. Hey, there are some like pots and stuff in the kitchen, and we could like make a fire. You could cook your.
You know,
ramen
this is
next
like
time.
it's raw ramen. It's like a South Korean like drinking snack. You know, it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal, Johnny.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Danny.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about your tongue radar thing? Like, how does it feel to have been experimented on by the aliens and everything?
Like during, it was weird.
Sure. I meant
Sticking
more like,
things inside
where are
me
you
and-
emotionally now?
Huh. Yeah. I think it was definitely traumatic. But hey, look what I can do now. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm assuming there's no aliens nearby, so that was just him sticking his tongue.
Yeah, no, I'd like to figure out what it means.
Yeah, is that the only thing you can do with it? It's just detect them, or
So far, that's the only thing I've found.
okay?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if like it's
Hey.
in my tongue, but that would require me cutting my tongue open. So I don't know if you guys want to help me with that at some point.
sure. Well, we can definitely talk about it more another
Yeah.
time.
I don't know how I feel about self-surgery, but for now, trying to avoid it.
I think that's a reasonable position. Yeah.
But hey, you guys have some pretty cool, weird alien tech things going on now.
I don't think Steve is too enthused about his. I think he's trying to get rid of it. I would be too if I was stuck in limbo like him.
Hey,
Yeah,
yours was super
my thing's-
useful
Yeah, I'm hoping I
in the
can
car.
get some more control over it soon.
Mm-hmm. You turn into that big alien.
Yeah, you like that?
You really fit the daddy role.
All right. Halfway there.
Hey, we only got 2 episodes.
And with that, I feel ready to roll.
Good call.
Get rid of that stress.
Another 6. I am no longer stressed.
Hey.
Thanks, Danny.
I just feel so de-stressed after this conversation.
Johnny, do you know what your last rest action is? And then we'll move to Danny.
I don't. If I hadn't gotten that 6, it was going to be
Yeah.
cut loose again.
Let's go loose again. We'll give you a moment to think. Danny, what do you want to do?
So I think I'm gonna do what Steve did. Cut loose. This first safe hit.
Okay.
And
all right. Roll the
take
die.
that roll.
Yeah.
Nice. 3. So I'm no stress. And then
No stress.
I think I am gonna prepare.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend some time.
You cannot. You only have 1 rest action left.
Oh, it takes 2 rest actions.
It's 2 rest actions to prepare.
That's kooky. That's kooky crazy.
Very costly to prepare.
And I'll cut loose again. I'll go
Okay.
talk to Steve.
Oh, great.
Please.
Steve-O!
Hey, Danny. I think the
How's it
phasing.
going,
I
man?
think the phasing thing's getting a little better.
Oh, that's good.
I popped a pill labeled stability. I don't know if it's the correct label, but
They make pills for that.
I think the aliens do, since they mess with that kind
Oh.
of tech all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What's up?
Just cutting loose, my guy.
You know, we do have to do that. We finally found a nice place in the woods.
It's the little
It's
things,
been
Steve.
a day. So,
Been a day.
how was your uncooked ramen?
It was delicious. You know, it's actually like a South Korean like drinking snack. It's completely normal. They do it all the time.
Did you have alcohol with it? Said drinking
No.
snack?
We don't have alcohol.
Oh,
We got some fuel.
wouldn't drink
He says
that.
we don't have
Lighthouse, make some
alcohol,
monkey
and I
pump.
just walk past the doorway to the room they're in carrying a bottle of whiskey. Another.
Just in the background. In the background.
Hey, get back here. And this doesn't have to be a separate rest action, Justin, but just for the fiction, I'd love to pass around some whiskey to call it a night.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would actually enjoy that because I was just gonna just cut loose again to increase my bond with Steve. So maybe we all just sit.
I
And,
wish I
Awesome.
saved
Just sit around.
the ramen.
I
Sorry.
mean, you could. Yeah. No, you can't actually.
I can't.
But yeah,
the last one's cut loose.
Then in that case, both Danny and Johnny can roll another d6.
I'm not stressed.
You don't have any stress, so just increase
yeah, I don't have any
both
more
of you.
either, so.
Increase your bond with one of the other people. I don't really care who, but
Just bond with somebody.
just bond with someone.
And I'll have one bond with both Johnny and Steve.
Wonderful.
Nice to be bonded.
I suppose, considering our clock, I should have 2 bonds with Danny instead of 2 bonds with Steve. That's
Sure. I think that makes sense.
Is there a separate bondage clock?
Is there?
I mean, I could start
Make a
one.
bondage clock. Just start a bondage clock.
I don't know what the result of that would be. That you're into it.
Wait a minute. If mine and Johnny's clock reaches 8 at the same time that Steve's and Johnny's clock happens, is that like?
Hey, look.
Follow the fiction.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The 3 of you bed down for the night. In the morning, you wake up. It is a new day. There's no time on the clock. I do need. I guess I could ask like how late you sleep in, but I guess it doesn't matter.
We
I'm
each
not
lose
really
a
that
well-fed,
interested
right?
You do lose a well-fed tick. So
guys,
if
I'm starving
Yep.
to death.
Oh, why didn't you eat?
Well, what it
didn't have any
means,
food.
what it means is that if at the start of tomorrow, Johnny, you do not find some way to mark a well-fed box during this day, you will take the level 1 harm a week.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right.
All
It is a
right.
new day. The sun is up. You have plans to make. Most important of which is you have a limited amount of fuel, so you're probably going to have to find some more fuel somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But we will have to find out what you do next week.
Amazing.
I'm so
Well,
excited.
That was Apocalypse Road Trip. That was a lot more fun than I was anticipating. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I went to this and I was like, I'm really nervous about running Forged in the Dark. I've never done it before. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I was expecting lots of fun, and I was satisfied.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to get intense to that scale right away. Like, I just fall through a bookcase,
Honestly,
and voila, I'm in a lab with
We
a coil.
just got to Pie Town, and we destroyed it.
And I have to see
mean,
my
that's what I-
family on a table being operated on.
That's what I said. You went straight to the heart of the mystery of Pie Town, which I was like, you know what? We're just playing this for 2 episodes. That's fine that they discovered that. It's fun. It's hilarious
I
that you
love
just
it.
showed up and then immediately you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I
2
love
episodes
the
is
ant.
too short of an arc to not jump into a Tesla coil.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
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 That was a good
Absolutely.
meta consideration. Johnny's like, there's only 2 episodes. Tesla coil.
Tesla coil. All right. We will continue to play this next week while Nick is still in Japan. We'll see where we end up at the end of next week. I think it'll be a fun time. And then after that, we're going to play Blades in the Dark. Back in our Avatar setting and campaign, we're going to do a flashback of Chain Owl Launcher leading a heist with some other Project Spark members. Very excited for that. It'll
Yeah.
play very mechanically similar to this, probably a little less silly though. But there will still be some goofs. I'm sure there will be some goofs.
We're a bunch
Well-
of goofy boys.
We're just a bunch of goofy boys, BOIs. Thank you for exploring this apocalyptic world with us, and we will see you next week. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.